Welcome to the BCFC Coaches Show for Week 3. I'm Ryan Waters. This week, the Sun and Raiders will look to stay undefeated, while the Rams and Huskers will look for their first win. Saturday afternoon, the Vancouver Island Raiders will host the Kamloops Broncos in their home opener. The Raiders are on a 38-game home winning streak and are coming off a 72-point performance against the Rebels. Head coach Matt Snoop-Blocker says he's really not sure how they scored so many points.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. It's, the one thing in that game, we had 34 points that were put up in the fourth quarter, and it was, from our standpoint, it was great to see a lot of our first-year guys make some big plays, and there were some big plays were kind of made there, and I think that was the most points per quarter we put up was in the fourth.
Did your team improve by taking baby steps or bigger steps, or did it stay the same from week 1 to week 2?
Well, I think we improved, and I think we're going to continue to make some pretty big leaps and bounds, and it's all based really, on our work ethic and our attitude, and we're still not, 100% there in those categories, and that's some stuff that we work on every single night, and that's what's going to build the consistency and the conditioning and everything we're going to need to have if we plan or want an opportunity to win. So, I think from that standpoint, we're starting to get it a little bit better, and hopefully, it'll show again this week, because I thought we had a great week of practice so far.
You finally have your home opener this weekend. Is the community of Nanaimo excited to have junior football back?
Yeah, it's been crazy, and it's been a lot of fun for us, and we can't wait to get back into Caledonia and rock the place and get the beer garden fired up, and hopefully we can sound that cannon off a few times on Saturday.
What do you know about the Broncos?
Well, I know they're improved. I believe they're really improved. Their offensive line looks pretty good, and of course, the running game is improved, and on that side of the ball. And I still think their front seven is pretty darn good, and defensively. So we're going to have our hands full there, and we got to make sure that we also do a good job protecting our quarterback and giving him an opportunity to make some plays and stay consistent. If we do that, then we got a good shot to win this game.
The Broncos are coming off their first win of the season, beating up the Huskers in Chilliwack. The Broncos had a wonderful game from their special teams, as head coach Duncan Orthius explains just how special that first win is.
It was a pretty good game. There were a couple mistakes by our offense and defense, but the game was played well by both teams, and we managed to come out with a win, and we're pretty happy with it.
Derek Apps was named the BCFC Special Teams Player of the Week. Was he and that unit the difference?
I believe so. I think actually he had a strong candidate take to both the defense and the special teams, because he did have 2 picks and 1 for a touchdown, which he provided a spark for our team and kept it going, and he was a real playmaker that game, with a pick for a touchdown to start it off, and then a 98-yard return for a touchdown. He was a great player that game.
Absolutely. You stay on the road this week. You visit the Raiders in Nanaimo. Has this week been a little bit different as far as preparation goes, because you are facing the defending champs?
It has been in many different ways. We're not trying to make excuses, but we've actually had to switch our practice venues right now because we have the Western Canada Games here. Oh. So we're at a high school right now, but coming against the Raiders, they're a very talented team with they got talent basically at every single position. It's going to be tough for us, but we're really willing to give it a shot, and hopefully we can give them a run for their money.
Well, what's the key, do you think?
I think the key is just to stop Yance and keep them kind of in the pocket, kind of defend the long ball. I know they like to chucker, so hopefully our D is up to that task, and on O is just to try to control that D line. They're quick and agile, so it's going to be a pretty tough task for our O line and D.
Also on Saturday afternoon, the Chilliwack Huskers will hit the road for the first time, playing in West Shore against the Rebels, a team they faced in Week 1 and lost. This week, head coach Luke Atchison feels they've made some strides in preparation for week number 3.
I think this week we did. I think we learned a little bit from that game, a little bit more. Some of our young guys got a bit of a lesson on what it's going to take to win a game. I think they feel good about the fact that they weren't outmatched. Just a few key mistakes in very key parts of the game cost us a win. So we've been trying to eliminate some of those mistakes, and we've had a pretty good week of practice, and we're excited about this week.
Have you seen pieces in the first 2 weeks that have shown some terrific upside?
Yeah, for sure. There's been glimmers of promise, definitely, and we really need to become more consistent. And I think for us, it's about believing in ourselves. Mm-hmm. It's about understanding that it's a 60-minute game, and there are going to be some peaks and valleys, and it's not all going to go your way, and you need to unite and kind of bond together and make it through the tough times, knowing that you're going to get your chances. We've really been kind of focusing on that, and just believe that the chances are going to come, and don't get down when we're not going to beat people. People are going to score on us. It's going to happen. People are going to make plays. We're going to make plays. We need to be able to overcome some of the negative stuff and be able to fight through that and stay positive rather than getting down on ourselves a little bit too quickly.
You get a chance to see West Shore, the Rebels, again. You saw them in Week 1. What do you take away from the Week 1 game and implement into Week 3?
It's nice to know, get an idea of how the matchups are going to go and maybe what we can take advantage of and what we need to stay away from. You can definitely take things like that away from it. Yeah. And just knowing that it's a winnable game for us. We need to come out and be ready to fight for it. Looking forward to your first road game. We are. It's interesting. We'll see how these guys. I'm getting a lot of on the road type questions this week, so I know that they're looking forward to it. Some of these guys come from places where they've never seen the water before, and they're a little nervous and excited about taking the ferry. So it's always fun. And the first time you get to see their faces traveling across the water. The Rebels are coming off a crushing defeat in their home opener, losing 72-6 against the Raiders. The Rebels couldn't get much going against the defending champs, and head coach John Carlicchia tells us there isn't a lot of positives you can take away from a game like that.
Well, it's hard to find too many positives in a game like that, but there were splashes of things that definitely were positive, and it just gets you, get you back to the basics and get you working hard all over again and understanding that we got a long way to go before we beat a team like the Raiders. If we, want to play with these guys, we got to play perfect, and we played far from it. So just get you refocused on the fundamentals. Does it also get the players and the coaching staff fired up and more hungry for the next time? Well, absolutely. I mean, if you got any kind of pride, you're going to take a loss like that on the chin, and it's going to affect you in a lot of different ways, but it definitely gets you more fired up for next week. In Week 3, you stay at home, you face the Chilliwack Huskers, a team you beat in Week 1. Do you change much from that week? Well, I think you're changing every week early in the season a little bit. You never want to get too far away from who you are or what you do, but you're certainly finding out that there's things that you do better and things that you might want to throw out, and so we're definitely be a little bit better, a little bit different of a team than the first time we saw them. What's priority number 1 this week? Go get 2 points. I mean, stay in the game for 60 minutes, play hard, play every down, and go get 2 points.
The only Saturday night game this week is the second half of a home-and-home between the Okanagan Sun and the Langley Rams. Last week, the final 7 minutes was a thrilling roller coaster at the Apple Bowl for both teams, as the Sun would prevail 33-23. Sun head coach Jason Casey has never been more relieved to hear that final whistle.
No, I don't think I have. It was a crazy fourth quarter. I think I went through every emotion, roller coaster ride up and down that whole 15 minutes. But luckily, the guys didn't lay down and give up, and we were able to squeak one out.
Did your team make strides from Week 1 to Week 2?
Yes, we did. I was very happy with a lot of what we were doing. I mean, for 3 quarters, our defense was playing very well. Offense, they were taking from Langley's defense what we could get. It wasn't a lot, but we had our moments. Aside from that, I think we're moving forward. I think from Week 1, the end of Week 1 to the end of Week 2, I think they may have been baby steps, but they were steps forward.
After seeing the Rams firsthand, you play them again this coming weekend on Saturday. How do you prepare, or how did you prepare for the Rams this week?
Nothing really different. We just we went through the film and looked at where our mistakes were based against what they were running against us on all 3 sides of the ball, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams. So we were looking at it that a lot of what went on was our mental mistakes. We do still think we match up well against them. So we're going to bank on our athletes not making the mental mistakes 2 weeks in a row and really give it to them.
Do you expect it to be another close game, or do you expect when you say give it to them, do you think it's going to be a blowout?
No, when I say give it to them, just play Okanagan Sun football. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any stretch. They've got weapons. They've got some great young running backs. They've got Nathaniel White had an off game against us, but we did have some open receivers. So I think their D line was very, very fast. Their linebackers run well. They flowed well. I mean, as a whole, I think it's going to be a great game. How close, I don't know. I think it's going to come down to defensive mistakes. So whatever defense plays the best, I think that team's going to come out on top.
For the Langley Rams, the loss was difficult, but a tremendous learning experience. A week after the heartbreaker, head coach Jeff Alamahota recaps what he saw from his club.
Well, I thought that obviously it's a disappointment when you come and you fight back hard like that in the fourth quarter and you go up late and then you end result of the game is not a W. But what you can take from that is a lot of positive things. We did a lot of very good things in that game. We showed a lot of fight. We showed a lot of heart, and we never did give up. So I think, sitting back after kind of getting that sting away from the loss, you look at it and you take those positives and you understand moving forward that we're a better team for it. We got the learning experience under our belt now, and moving forward, we are going to be able to benefit from that later on.
Well, other than winning, did you do what you wanted to do?
We did show that we were, had the capabilities of doing what we wanted to do. Started on that road, We didn't do it exactly the way we wanted to do it, but we did show a lot of promise, and as a coaching staff, we accomplished some of our goals that we wanted to that weekend, but not all of them. And of course, being week 2 in a new program and kind of with a new coaching staff and new systems, it is a system, kind of a way that we can't expect that we're going to learn it all in one go of it, So definitely we accomplished some of our goals that we wanted to, but not all of them.
This is the second half of a home-and-home with the Sun. Is it easier to play in a home-and-home or more difficult when you face a team back-to-back?
Oh, it's definitely more difficult. I think, you're familiar with the team. You've seen the schemes. They're fresh in your mind. And so now strategy definitely comes into play a little bit more. But then also, there's a little bit more of a chip on your shoulder as well.
All 3 games in week number 3 of the BCFC will fall this Saturday. Check bcjuniorfootball.ca and follow the league on Facebook. Enjoy week 3 of the BCFC. Until next time, I'm Ryan Waters.